Hey, you're on DevSecOps, the good, the bad, the ugly. Today I have my friend here with me, Pandian. Pandian, can you introduce yourself and
Ye-
explain a little bit about your background?
Yeah, sure. I'm Pandian Velayutham. I work for Medhost. I'm a director of engineering. Um, Primarily focuses on cloud services, integration, interoperability, and business intelligence. Those are the three areas I manage.
That's great. And today we're going to be talking about waterfall to Agile to DevOps to DevSecOps, that transformation as you've been involved in that. Can you talk to us, what did that transformation look like, kind of starting with waterfall and moving to Agile?
Yeah, but most of the organization, when they start converting from waterfall model to agile model, it's not a single step process. You have waterfall, next day you start practicing agile. So it's a multi-step process. Organization slowly move from waterfall to agile. So still you have that mindset of having that design in place upfront, and then all the requirements are solid. Then you start your process. Then
Right.
you do 2 weeks agile scrum process, but
Right.
you still call it as agile methodology. It's not really agile methodology. It's like Agile-Fall, right? You just
Right.
start there,
Right.
and then
Progress.
it takes 6 months or 7 months to the product to go to a customers.
Right.
So even though you have demos, you might have demo every sprint. Every time when every sprint you bring your customer or you bring some representative have a demo, you get few feedback until that product goes to the customer hand and they play with that and they see what needs to be done. You wouldn't really get a real feedback. So
Right.
that's where the waterfall and agile fall gets mixed in, and then slowly transfer that into agile. So to practice true agile, you definitely need to automate your CI/CD pipeline. Your infrastructure need to be automated. So when we started this transformation, we had few goals in place.
Okay.
For example, we wanted to increase the density of services within a VM. What does that mean? That means cost savings. So we were able to measure that, how much amount, how much we are wasting in cloud at that point. So we were able to measure that and say that, okay, this is our current spending. We want to reduce this by 50%. We really wanted to reduce that by 80%. We were able to do that. So we were wasting a lot of resources. Wow. So that was one of the main goal. And then everyone likes this like for like environment, right? You want dev, your testing, your stage and your production, everything looks alike. That's what you want.
Right.
So to do that, your infrastructure needs to be automated. Your CI/CD needs to be automated. So these are the two sub goals under that. And also we wanted to make it as a production release as much as easy as possible, like a push the button. You might be hearing that all the places, but it is truly, you still need some kind of a checkpoint before going to a production.
Right.
At the initial stage, when you are starting agile, you want some checkpoint. And once your process gets matured, then it can be a CD, right? So we wanted to achieve that. Initially, we wanted to have a plan where have that checkpoint in place, automate everything, and then it can go. This is also can be measured because in one of the bigger release, we spent 2 weeks to release the code to production. 2 weeks, almost 3% working 8 to 12 hours every day. Right. That was a painful process. We wanted to make it so simpler, as simple as possible, so that we don't go through the same model again. Yeah. And disaster recovery. We wanted to automate the disaster recovery. We had a plan. Everything was like manual step. You have to do this. Right. But that had to be automated. And prior to starting that, we had TechOps. TechOps is like an operations team who manages a production server. Then DevOps, who manages only development, testing, staging environment. Okay. So there were two different teams. Right. And this team had a code base, that team had a code base. This team automates set of things, this team automates set of things. So we had two different code base.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, we wanted to have single code base.
Right. You want to bring the two groups together, right?
Together,
Which is
yeah.
DevOps, right? Yeah.
True DevOps. And then we also wanted to have a monitoring in place.
Right.
We want to make sure that when our service goes to the production, we are able to monitor. And our primary goal was get rid of on-call support.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
No one likes on-call support. And
hopefully no one's watching. That's an on-call.
So our goal was getting rid of that. So this is like we set up goals. We had set of goals. And then we started transforming this agile methodology where we wanted to have a team with mix of all the members. So we brought in developers, architects, testers, DevOps, TechOps.
Silo busting. I love it.
Yeah. So all 5 teams.
Yeah.
But as soon as we formed the team, we said that we will not have any particular role within that Scrum team.
Okay.
You are coming from this department, but you don't have a role. Okay. Everyone has to do everything. Meaning, everyone has to do business coding, whatever the coding needed for business, whatever needed for infrastructure. Everyone should be able to do coding. Everyone should be able to test it.
Yep.
There is no particular tester. So infrastructure code has to be tested by another developer or another tester. So we said that there is no role at all.
That's interesting, Pandian, just because I think I might have mentioned this to you last time we chatted, just in the Phoenix project. I believe it was the gentleman Brent, right, was the bottleneck. So you guys were getting rid of the constraints by ensuring everybody knew how to do every task.
Absolutely. Right. That was one of the problem we had. There was only one person who knew end-to-end of our applications. If that person is not available, we could not scale it or we could not support that product.
Yep.
So we wanted to get rid of that. So once we started first 4 sprints, at least 4 sprints, our delivery sucked, right? We finished entire sprint. At the end of the sprint, it needs to go to production.
Right.
To go to production, we spent like 4 to 8 hours, like 6 to 8 hours we spent to push that to production. Because when you go to production, that time you think, oh, we have to create a release branch. We need to do this. We missed this. We missed that. Right. So everything came into place. We missed to automate this. We missed to automate this. So all those things we did. And we want to be careful because you have a parallel production working environment. You are moving one piece to another stack, but that stack has to work with the existing stack.
Right.
The problem was that exact same production environment, we could not replicate that in our development box because it's all set up manually.
Okay, got it.
So that was a challenge. That's why we had to go through that 6 to 8 hours of painful process. Once we have that, so after 4 weeks, now the team knows, everyone knows everything, right? It's a learning curve. It took some time to learn that. Now everyone knows. Now if there is anything comes up, people are actually willing to learn. They say that, hey, let me take that so that I can learn. Because they know that if it takes some time, the team understands that. Right. Everyone understands that, how long it's going to take to learn a new product and how to implement that in production. That's how we transitioned from Agile-Falls to Agile methodology. And that is a great success. And all the goals I said, we achieved all the goals within 3 to 4 months. I think it was 4 months. Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like it was a big investment up front, but quite frankly, after those 2 months, wow, what you guys were able to achieve after that, that's a incredible story there, Pandian. So now I know you've also mentioned one of your focuses now moving forward is really security, or DevSecOps, right? Is the word that we're talking about. Some people love that name, some people hate it, but just DevSecOps, securing the SDLC. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you're doing there?
Yeah. So one of the areas when we started working on that, we wanted to go to SOC 2 audit, right? And also when you talk talk SOC 2 audit, it's not just security of your infrastructure. Mm-hmm. It's both security of infrastructure, security of your application, and then you have checks and balance for who has access to what.
Right.
Everything needs to be documented and maintained. So having a application security team or going through a pen test for application, it's not an easy job. So we had to engage third party to do that. Right. So initially, when they created a bug, team could not understand what does that mean, like, right. Because it's totally new to the team.
Right.
So, but after 2-3 cycles, we worked with them. We asked them like, what does this mean? Mm-hmm. How can they break into our system? How do you protect it every time? So CSRF, SSRF, we know about SQL injection. That's something everyone knows, right? Yep. So all those things, new terms, we started getting and started implementing and started fixing that. Mm-hmm. Our code has become stronger and stronger. So as soon as we have that, we went through that cycle, we tried to document that, saying that these are all the possible problems. This is how we solve it. Okay. So we try to take that and move that shift left, meaning when you develop your application, make sure that best practices are followed. Because what we started with, we complete our coding, it's ready to go to production. Sometimes it even goes to production. Then we engage pen test to do the pen testing and go back and fix it.
Right.
So by the time you come to the stage where you are releasing a code, it's too late.
Right.
Right. So we wanted to capture that earlier. So we started that. Some of the challenges we face with this DevSecOps model, still, even though we brought in some of the team members from the security team, it's still challenge to educate other team members. Yep. And security spectrum is changing a lot, right? Yep. Yep. So you try to fix something, someone will come up with something new and they try to fix it. So we are trying to identify some of the tools to analyze upfront and fix it. So we are still working on that. I wouldn't say that we are matured in that process, but we are working towards that to achieve that. We are piloting this with one team and then we will scale it to other teams. Okay. Another thing I wanted to mention as part of the goals we had, we want to get rid of on-call support. So we needed to have a monitoring, right? Yep. So if you need to have, if you want to get rid of on-call support, you need your team to manage that. So you build it, you run it. So right. We want to bring that model. Yep. So as soon as we brought that model, what it does, as soon as you bring that model in place, for the developer, whenever they see some problem in production, mm-hmm. they do not wait for that to be fixed.
Right.
They think that, okay, this has to be fixed so that I don't need to do anything in production next week when I go on a vacation.
Yep.
So that's the mentality it brings into the team. And we were able to quickly fix a lot of these problems. And currently, we don't even get alert 10, 20 days. Whenever we get alert, we know that that is truly a problem. It's not a noise. We know that truly a problem, we go ahead and address that.
Yeah, that's great, Pandian. It also sounds like, you know, what you guys did with the DevOps, getting everybody together and continue to collaborate is going to provide success in what you guys are doing. So thanks so much for being willing to come on here and share and participate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, Zach. Thanks for having me in this good, the ugly, and the bad and the ugly.
all of the above. Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure, Pandian.
Okay. Thank you.